Right edition, welcome, happy day. Big Brother is everywhere. They're always making stuff up because the people, the citizenry, they're so darn stupid. We gotta look after them and think for them. I'm talking government/Big Brother in the same breath. This particular case here, or story I should say, is in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. The City Council recently voted to amend its building code to ban doorknobs. You got that? Takes a minute to kind of absorb it. Doorknobs. The new law is meant to help make the city more accessible for the arthritic, gnarled, or weakened hands that we earn with age. Age? What? So if you're older, you have a gnarled hand, you need to pull the door down versus turning it around. Isn't that kind of up to the person who owns the house? Talk about intrusion here. Good grief. No, it's up to us because, again, didn't you get it? We're smarter than you. You're stupid. This is just wrong. What about the little one-year-old that's going to reach up and pull that door down, get outside, get lost, or get hit by a bus? What happens then? I mean, shouldn't the parent have that right? Of course not, because you live in Vancouver, British Columbia, and they say they're a model for other cities and other people would do it too. The real doorknobs, I think, are in City Council. Don't you agree? This is horrible. I mean, if you got a gnarled hand, don't you have enough moxie or brains to go down to the store or buy a different doorknob? But they made it a law. You cannot put doorknobs as we know them on doors anymore. And they're talking about grandfathering the existing ones, but they're also making rumblings about having to go in and replace them with the pull-down ones. I wouldn't do that for a second, particularly if you got a little kid around, because kids open them and out they go. Principle and preference, two interesting words. Principle. I'm dying. Pardon me. Work with me here. I've been sick for weeks. I can't seem to get over it. I'm still growling. I hope you're well. It's been about a 4-week episode with me. See, better now. Had to share that. Principle. Back to words. Principle. It's a moral rule to guide your conduct. Preference is a choice based typically on how a choice might benefit the individual. Kind of sounds like right and left. The right is right and the left is wrong, or, rigidly flexible maybe. Maybe the council members in Vancouver happen to own a drugstore, or hardware store rather, and they're going to sell doorknobs. I mean, you know what? That's kind of how they operate and think. Guns and ammo. I want to talk a little bit about stupid people. Maybe. If you're doing if you rob a bank and you're, an hour away from the bank and you're safe, probably don't speed, right? A lot of people do. It's amazing. This is the Okanagan, British Columbia. 2 Kelowna men were recently arrested because of a broken windshield. It was badly broken. The police looked and said, hey, nobody can see out of that thing. It's a real mess. Pulled them over. The driver was prohibited from driving, prohibited from possessing firearms, and he was wanted. There was a warrant out for his arrest. The passenger, kind of the same story, he was prohibited from possessing weapons as well. So they searched the vehicle, and guess what? They found guns everywhere. Loaded guns under the seat, in the back seat. Imagine. Now, in keeping with the Okanagan, just go further down the road from Kelowna to Penticton. There's a man there, his name is Hardestein. He was seen by the RCMP going up to an apartment building on an orange and white motorcycle. What a way to blend in, color it up, right? In any event, he had a backpack on, and the officer looked and said, that's a gun sticking out of the backpack. You probably shouldn't be doing that. So he waited, and the guy went into the apartment building, then came out, and the police got him, and he fled, of course, on his motorcycle. They caught him, and he had an SKS semi-automatic with a folding stock and a loaded 9mm handgun and a whole bunch of rounds of different things. And at the time of his arrest, he was wanted, and he had a lifetime prohibition from having firearms. What part is stupid he wouldn't understand. Good grief, you're going to be a crook, maybe be better at it. However, maybe it's good for the good guys that we have these bad guys around that don't think so well. Let me end today with a little bit of a story. You may be interested about the 75-year-old farmer who was in a hospital. He had a cut in his hand. The doctor was stitching it up, and they struck up a conversation, and eventually the topic, of course, got around to politics. And what are you thinking? How do you vote? And different things. And the old farmer says, well, most politicians, like the senators, they're post-turtles. He wasn't familiar with the term, and so the doctor finally said, what is it? What's a post-turtle? And the old farmer said, well, when you're driving down a country road and come across a fence post with a turtle on top of it, that's a post-turtle. Duh. The old farmer saw the puzzled look on the doctor's face, so he continued to explain, well, you know, he didn't get up there by himself. He doesn't belong up there. He doesn't know what to do when he's up there. He's elevated beyond his ability to function, and you just wonder what dumb head put him up there to begin with. Come back tomorrow. Sounds like a liberal thing. Hey, we're going to have more for you from the right. See ya.